Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily. It's Des here. Who's ready to attack the week? Who's in need of some Monday motivation to keep getting involved? Plenty of activity, to keep doing all the things we enjoy, but also to stay on top of things in the best way we possibly can. Whilst things are constantly improving like now, feels that way week on week almost, and a normality might be on the horizon. Of course, there's still much uncertainty out there, and we've still got to keep doing the things that we've had to do over the past 14 months. So it's important just to sort of remember that, but place some determination, some discipline into what we're doing to take forward into a brand new week. And whilst it is a brand new week, we don't necessarily have to use it as a start line, but if you are struggling, if you're not quite sure what to do next, it's just that opportunity to go again, isn't it? Something I say a lot through the coaching. If it's not quite worked to this point, if somebody's had a bad run or not quite feeling it, all I try to say is we go again. Because that's all we can do. The past is the past, and unfortunately we can't change it. What we can try to do is create a better future. So, of course, on a Monday, it's what it's all about, being absolutely positive, forward thinking, and like I say, trying to instill that discipline. I'm going to get a bit deeper into that today. That's what I'm going to talk about for Monday motivation. One or two thoughts I've had over the weekend, sort of around my own personal activity. I mentioned the fact I've been injured, so something kind of dawned on me. So I will, like I say, I'll come back to that shortly. But as ever, what I'd like to do is run down what's available on DOdaily this week. I'm going to be a bit quicker about that, I'm going to be a bit sharper with this. It's something I've been doing now for 14 months, and people generally get the idea. But as well as sort of explaining it week on week, it's all available through the Do Running social media. Of course, all the things I do is all part of the bigger Do Running picture. DOdaily is just a small sort of piece of that. So the links to Do Running social media are at the end of the video. Please check it out. But like I say, it is important to sort of run through it quickly, just to give people a bit of a taste of what's available. Of course, today's all about Monday motivation. We try and work off these different hashtags, these different motivational hashtags to get us through. They've all got a purpose, they've all got reasoning. Come on at 8 o'clock every day, letting people know how I'm feeling, letting them know what I'm looking forward to, how I'm making the most of things, to try and give you a little bit of an insight how somebody who just considers themselves normal, tackles everyday life. Because it's not, like I touched on there, it's not always straightforward, is it? Last week I spoke a lot about men's health and mental health. Of course, it's all part of the same thing. Always say that health should be health, not physical or mental health. And whilst that was kind of frustrating that not many people bought into it, I learned a real lesson to myself. I learned a lot about myself. The fact that because I'm prepared to keep talking about it, keep spreading the word, when it's not easy, it really isn't. It just shows a bit of courage, doesn't it? And whilst some people might question my motives and why I do it, they might question whether, sorry if it's a bit windy by the way, they might question whether I'm sane and feeling okay myself. I generally am, because I'm checking in every day, to talk about it, to express myself, to try and help others. And that was one of the big things towards the end of the week, was it? Trying to help others. Whilst it was a big thing at the end of the week, it's a big thing all the time, but I tried to purposely help others to make myself feel better. Because like I touched on before about a thought I've had over the weekend, I'm just kind of, whilst I'm absolutely fine, I kind of allow myself not to get too bad now. So people looking in might think, oh God, he's talking about this again. It must be a bit cuckoo. The reality is it's far from it. I feel completely content, completely happy. And when I do have my moments, I just sort of consciously or subconsciously reach out for one of these some of this advice, some of these words I sort of pass over through DOdaily. And that's kind of what Monday Motivation is about. But just sort of touching on the back end of last week, I did kind of set myself the challenge on Friday to do 3 things that were essentially for others, but would help me feel good about myself. There's a local podcast which I really enjoy listening to, about 5 or 10 minutes long. Give that a bit of a push. I've agreed to help somebody with their fundraiser, and whilst I don't have to do it, there's millions of reasons why I wouldn't do it. I can do it, so I really want to do something again. And I'm quite relentless with fundraising at times. I've done quite a lot in the last few years, but again, if I can just make that small difference, it's not about it in record breaking figures or trying to outdo anybody. It's just about trying to do something. And there was also 1 or 2 other things that were quite easy, comments on social media, positive comments about what people are doing, just to sort of keep encouraging people to really think that by helping others we can really help ourselves. Moving on to Tuesday, it's all about the solidarity session. Now we're back to full group activity here in Nottingham. It's made for a busy time, but really enjoy getting out there, encouraging people to take part at 6 o'clock every Tuesday, trying to create like an in-person and a virtual session, trying to make people accountable and part of a bigger movement. If we can build something here, whilst there might only be an handful at the moment, I'm going to keep working at it because I think it's got legs, and it's about doing whatever works for you. Lots of guys have really used it to stay on top of the lockdown in particular, but now the group's back, we can hopefully set the example, and wherever people are, all we do is ask them to join us, posting the pictures, show us they're trying to motivate and inspire each other. Again, it's that giving out thing, isn't it? Wednesday, it's all about the Wednesday workout. Another group I run from Trent Bridge, where you'll often find me doing DOdaily. Really friendly group. What I look to do is keep encouraging people to get involved however they can. Whilst the group is well attended and it's full of great spirit, if people can sort of take part virtually again, and the importance of all that is just to sort of highlight how the week can get on top of us and how we can sort of use different tactics to keep pushing on, to keep getting through it, to make sure we have a good one. And that's all if we have a good week every week, we're doing okay, aren't we? Thursday, it's about Thursday thoughts. It's like changing tactic. I come on at 8 to answer your questions live, again whilst I'm filming, and this is always getting me out of my comfort zone. On a Thursday, the live session, answering stuff I'm no expert on, just with my opinions, my thoughts, a bit of knowledge I built by throwing myself into the things I do these days. It's a really great way to interact. Always kind of put a few questions back out there, ask people to comment, and put names to questions. So if anybody's got a burning issue, please get in touch. It can be about running, walking, activity, why I do this, what I think of this, what will be the football score, who do I think will win this, that or the other. Absolutely anything. My thoughts on the pandemic, whilst I really tried not to sort of bring that in too much. Again, it's happening, isn't it? It's something we have to sort of accept and sort of work through and get to the end of. So anything you want to ask, if you don't want your name put to it, that's absolutely fine too. But it's also a chance to help me. I talk about that giving there and supporting other people's projects. And that's definitely a way that people can help me and feel good about themselves. makes me feel great when people get involved. So please join me for that if you can. And then on Friday, I'll be waking up to walk, reeling off all the benefits of getting up early, as well as taking in the next leg of the Robin Hood Way, a trail that runs from the castle in Nottingham up to the major oak in Sherwood Forest. I've done about 30 odd miles of it so far. It's 112 miles long. Had to break off last week due to an appointment, a commitment. So really looking forward to getting stuck into that. Just light-hearted stuff really on why it's important to get your activity in and create routines, you know, and that's something I'm always trying to do. Just gives me that discipline as well. Whilst it was great to get down by the Trent last week, check out the last episode if you can. You know, knowing I'm going back to that, it just helps me with my routines and keep pushing forward. And then on Saturday, what I like to do is find a theme to ask you guys to get out there, get your activity in. You know, in recent weeks it's been football, it might be surrounded by food, animals, all sorts of things like that, just to keep trying to sort of motivate, inspire, that little bit of giving back again. And that's all we can keep doing, isn't it? Do you know what I try not to do is preach too much about this, that or the other. Do you know, of course I've got a real passion here and not everybody's on the same sort of wavelength with it, but I know it works to some degree. I know it works for me, you know, so it's important to help as many as I can. That's kind of what I feel my purpose is. But I mentioned right at the start there about discipline. Do you know, when I was thinking about it, I was listening to something as well. Discipline's so easy, isn't it? Do you know, we all think it's hard to be disciplined. It's absolutely not, is it? Because if you get up at the same time every day, and I struggle with this one, you know, it becomes easy. If you go out for a run all the time, you know, whilst it's never easy to run, and I'm the first one to say that, you know, it's easier than stop-start. And that was kind of the thought I had. You know, whilst I do certain things and got great routines with DOdaily, with some of those things I've just spoken about, you know, am I absolutely making the most of the things I want to do? Have I lost a bit of discipline when it comes to my injury, when it comes to the running? Because I started running 5 years ago, found it really, really tough. Got lots from it, but it was a battle. I've just watched a guy, kind of know of, don't know him too well, but I know he really struggles. I've just watched him around the river. Really struggles to get going, and I could see the battle he was having. And having had this thought over the weekend about discipline, and then watched him, I thought, I've got to be more disciplined. You know, I've got to sort of go out and do what I need to do. Whilst I encourage people to be patient and look into injuries and make sure you do things properly, you know, and I talk about it, I advise it. You know, have I actually done that myself? It's been a stop-start process. So I just need to go out there and enjoy the process again. It's something else I say to the coaching guys. It's about enjoying the process, you know, enjoying those small wins along the way. We spoke about that a lot last week. But really sort of getting stuck in, you know, it might mean me getting up at the same time every day to go out for a run, to take it easy. Whilst of course I run with others and I coach others, you know, I try to sort of build myself through that. But am I putting too much pressure on? Am I losing that little bit of discipline because I'm trying to sort of please others too much in that sense? Whilst it's good to help others, am I sort of letting my own standards drop just to sort of, I suppose what I'm trying to get to is I'm probably not setting the right example, you know, and I need to keep doing that if I'm going to do something like this. So I'm going to really focus this week in getting back into my running. Whilst the injury doesn't feel perfect, I'm really going to take the pace off, but I'm going to make sure I get the miles in. I'm going to make sure I get up. It's easy to be motivated. You know, this is something that dawned on me. You can have all the motivation in the world, because I really have, and I really want to enjoy it, you know. And it's easy to be inspired by somebody, but what does that really mean? You know, I've watched people over the last sort of few years look at people who do amazing things, incredible, amounts of activity, incredible running, incredible sort of triathlons and all sorts of different things. You know, they're really sort of committed to the work, and that is inspiring, but it's only inspiring if you take something from it, if you show that same kind of determination. And I think that's something that we all need to realise, that the determination side of it is actually easy, you know, because all it is about routine. It's about doing something time and time again. And whilst at times we need a rest, we need to take a step back, you know, if you're doing what you need to do, you know, I can assure you, you'll be feeling fantastic. As the week goes on, I tend to feel a lot better because I get to a position where I'm doing DOdaily in the evening, and that's my sort of discipline every day. It needs to be done. I do it. People often say, why do you do it? Well, the reality is I do it to try and help, but I also do it to help myself, you know. And might not be the most watched YouTube channel in the world, but I do it to keep myself in some sort of form, you know, because if you're just sitting around waiting for things to happen, it's not gonna, is it? You know, we're the only ones that can do it. You know, you have to go and find your sort of passion, you know, be driven, dedicated, determined. 3 words I used to use a lot. I used to hashtag them in Instagram posts, and perhaps just let them sort of drop off when it comes to my own personal running, you know, because I'm frustrated. That's an understandable emotion to have. You know, I'm frustrated, I'm fed up with it, you know, because it keeps breaking down. But unless I approach it properly, you know, really put some focus and emphasis on it so I get the most out of it again, understanding that it might not be today, but it's about enjoying the process, and it's about being disciplined. And that's what I want to say today, guys. You know, DOdaily gives some kind of structure if you want to get involved. You don't have to get involved in all of it. I always say it's no obligation. And just quickly before I go on that point, you know, I've noticed since doing coaching sessions sort of separately from the group, which is also no obligation, people turn up as and when they want, they do what they want. You know, the guys who come to the coaching session, you know, they're so much more focused compared to what they used to be. They're all from the running group, but they tend to be a little bit more focused because it's adding that accountability, isn't it? And if you're disciplined to do it, you know, and if you've got targets and goals, you're going to get there. You know, it's about putting something in the calendar. I just listened to something before I came on. You know, you can say you're going to get up and go for a run. You can say you're going to go to the gym. You know, you can say you're going to eat well, live well, do all these things. But unless you actually put something out there or down in a calendar, because none of us like to admit we're wrong, you know, we like the sense of achievement and the feel of saying, almost, not in an arrogant way, I told you so, you know, and hopefully you understand that, you know. And when you add that in, I create events for all sorts of things, you know, that people can get involved in to talk about or to sort of take part in activity, you know, because when you make that commitment, when you're determined, when you're dedicated, and when you're disciplined, you know, it all pays off in the end. Until the solidarity session, have a great evening, guys. I'm just finishing my walk now. Really sort of enjoying being out. It's a bit fresher this evening, so it's not so hot. And as always, I never miss a Monday. It's important for me to do this on a Monday evening. Get out, do the video, get back into those routines. Just doing it.